Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 2 of Final Fantasy VI's Shrine.
And that said, more questions. Starting with Ariel Osorio. Yo, what's up? Are RPGs hard to keep up with as a full-time adult? Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially when you got responsibilities.
Jinx. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's your responsibilities of your own channel and
job.
Your job and
family.
Whatever you want to do for yourself. It's really hard to keep up with other people. That said, when I'm working on something like, say, like a project, an animation project, or maybe I'm editing something in the background, I like to listen to LPs as background noise, so I can catch up in that way and still listen to what I'm missing.
The Real FTA asks, when will SGB play with me? I'm lonely.
Gareth, later.
Cards Against Humanity, dude. Yeah. You versus
Too
me
many games.
And everybody else. Too many games.
Be there! Be there!
Tim Queepers, Tim Queepers is asking, when are we playing Shadow the Hedgehog? Guess what?
Hey there!
Denver Stahl asks, what can we expect in the future of SGB, your main channel, and Elliot's channel?
Well, I guess that goes like into future LPs. We kind of already answered that question in part 1.
Matt and Johnny, who are your top 3? Oh, Wesley Wonderland asks, Matt and Johnny, what are our top 3 favorite Final Fantasy characters? Jacked. No, seriously, Jacked is my first one because he's honestly very relatable despite being a jerk off at times. Orin, well, no, I can't use 210. I don't want to use 210 representatives.
Hey, why not? You like both characters.
Sure.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's like Jacked, Barrett, and honestly, Golbez.
To me, the fact that you have a hard time thinking of him just means that you have a lot of characters to like. Maybe.
I do.
You can narrow it down to 3. I can't, because there are a lot of characters I like besides the aforementioned Jack and Horn, and Barrett too. We're kind of similar in that regard. And I know, so it's the very rough characters that we seem to be pointing
at. Yeah,
right. Or at least the characters that are rough around the edges for plot reasons. Sabin, to me, I love going back to, even though he doesn't do much in terms of personality.
He suplexes his train.
He suplexes his train, and that's all I fucking need. Leave me alone.
Right.
I would say that, and that's pretty much this. You know what though? I always have an affinity for like the kid character that can kick your ass after proper training.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Like Realm and Aiko from 9. Am I missing anybody? I think that's it.
Oh, Beatrix is another great character.
Beatrix, yeah, that's a pretty cool character. So before we go back into questions, I did want to explain the Glutturn, because we will be running into like 2 more in this Soul Shrine, but just to go into the detail, because they're not really going to attack me, and I'm not going to attack them. I try to steal from them, and I don't get shit. So there are 4 different colored Glutturns, each rocking different strategies if you don't give them the items they ask. So the green Glutturn, the one that asks for an Aether, will use very strong physical attacks if he does not get the item he wants. But he's also the easiest to counter because you can just use Phantom or Vanish to counter that. So that's all that. You can steal a Force Shield from him.
Ooh.
Yellow Glutturns demand the X Aether, but if you don't give them the item they want, they will start using nasty as hell status-inducing magic like Cloudy Heaven, which, in case you don't remember, induces a lot of nasty shit on you if it manages to hit you. I also think it uses disaster and shit. Ribbons are your only means of countering that, which everyone should be equipped with before going into the Soul Shrine. I should mention that. You can steal a Master Scroll from them, so everybody can X-fight for days.
Nice.
The blue Glutturn, which I believe, it doesn't say which one it asks. I think it asks for, the blue Glutturn, the one that asks for High Aether, will counter with Blaster if he doesn't get the item that he wants. Now, Blaster is a physical attack, but it instantly kills. So, and sometimes I can use it 2 times in a row. Isn't that lovely? However, you can steal a Celestiate from it. Nice. And for the final one, we have the red Glutturn, which asks for I think it asks for the elixir if you don't get it to him. If you do not give it to him, it spams Ultima. But you can steal Soul Thamazes from it.
Okay.
Those are all 4 of the Glutturns. If you really want to challenge yourself, fight them. Fuck them and their items. And add them to your best story if you can, because I don't think it counts if they run away. Anyway, let's continue with the questions.
All right. Let's see. Also, does Matt plan on fleshing out his channel at all? The day he learns how to edit, which will be when pigs fly. Wesley Wonderland asks, what are your favorite Final Fantasy boss fights?
Boss fights?
Boss fights? Let's see. The one with Gabranth top to Pharos in 12, if only because of the emotional impact that bit has. As well as Dr. Sid, because goddamn he's fucking funny. Like, seriously, he's outright fucking hilarious. What other good boss fights were there?
I like Unalaska.
Unalaska?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was a great one too. She was also,
it's kind of hard to pinpoint them down. There's so many bosses. I mean, from 5, you can fucking pick like a lot of them because there's so. I think that game still has the most boss fights.
It also has some of the best ones too, because you got to be clever with them.
I would have to sit back and think about that. Favorite boss encounters.
Ultimate Weapon for me comes to mind too.
That's a good one. I like Ultimate Weapon.
Alright. Steven asks, what are our thoughts on the old Donkey Kong Country cartoon? A banana slamming good time.
And they're on the road. The road to success. I think that was from the movie, The Crystal Coconuts. Whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. I don't like it.
Another question.
Jeff Littleton asks, will Matt be getting to Persona 2 Eternal Punishment anytime soon?
So there's like Attack on Innocent Sin?
Yeah.
Wesley Wonderland asks, did we all go to Denny's after the Until Dawn playthrough? No, but we should.
Yeah, we should. Jeff Littleton asks, no, not Jeff Littleton. I just asked that question. Matthew Purdue asks, why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near?
Because I think I reek a bird seed.
Yeah, it's like, because you got French fries taped to your back.
Exactly. Britton Kirkland asks, what's our favorite type of sandwich? I love the pepper turkey, pepper cheese.
I'm a man of simple tastes. I go to Tommy DeNick's on Red and Terminal Market, 13th and Market if you live in Philadelphia, and you get the roast beef with provolone. That's all you fucking need. It is delicious.
I have a pepper turkey. I've had that too from my local Primo's Hoagie shop right at the corner of 15th.
Oh, we're talking about Primo Hoagies, chicken parmesan all the way, man.
Oh, yeah. Dude, they do so many good ones. The All Diablo, the Big T Diablo. Oh my god, I can't pick the one sandwich from there. Pilgrim's fucking phenomenal.
The El Diablo, is that the spicy turkey?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I had last time. Yeah, that's really good. Fox Chris Redfield asks, did you and Matt try setting the TV to one boat?
Why? What's it going to do for the crack in the TV screen?
Yeah, fuck you.
Stoic asks, how's the new room coming along?
Well, the room is finished pretty much. The only thing I have yet to do is I want to replace this door that I'm pointing at right here. It has a lot of stains on it. I think a simple paint job will get rid of it. Or maybe I could just get like a scrub brush to scrub the fucking shit out of it.
Yeah, that's what I did for my walls.
But everything else is pretty much good to go. Got to get a new computer desk, and then I'm also going to frame some of those Smash posters that I've been holding on to for months, but I didn't want to hang them up because I don't want to hang up raw posters anymore.
Alright.
Anyway, Joey M. Miller asks, did you ever think you would get as popular as you have on YouTube? And do you have any regrets regarding any of your channels? Some call me Johnny, SGB, or BSC. No.
As I said before, I wish I toned down some of the dick jokes. Or thought a few times about a joke I was about to make. Other than that, no.
I guess when it comes to regrets, just some of the shit we used to say in our old playthroughs, which kind of makes me prevent watching them and shit. Like,
yeah, at times, because I'm like, why did
I say that? You know? And it's not because we're trying to be overly PC. It's just that sometimes you
you say shit, you think it's funny then, and you don't realize what you're saying, and then later on it hits you in the ass.
You totally miss the execution.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, black humor can be a thing. If I enjoy black humor from time to time. It's all about execution and how you work it. Otherwise, you just sound like a prick.
Right.
You know? So when it comes to that, then that's pretty much my only regret. But that's about it. It's just shit that we used to say that I wish we didn't. But hey, that's life. You learn from your mistakes.
All right.
Ryan McKenna asks, can you say what the next weekend RPG is after Final Fantasy VI?
5.
Yeah. We're turning back the clock, baby. Hey, Donaluma.
What am I doing here?
What are you doing here? Hey, you stole my jeweled ring! No, you stole my money!
Alright, Wesley Wonderland asks, Matt and Johnny, favorite Sonic stage?
I can't pick one.
I can't either, but I'll say Ice Cap Zone really did leave a most impression on me when I was a kid.
It probably might be Ice Cap Zone. Then.
It's just the music and the background of Ice Cap Act 1 I loved to death. Anyway, aside from any... Big Bourbon, I love that name too. Aside from any of the snakes, who's your favorite Metal Gear character? Vulcan Raven. I don't know if she said more, but Vulcan Raven.
The raven on my head yearns that I pick a different character.
Vamp's another good one.
Vamp... Nah, you know what? Vamp always bored me. I'm not gonna lie. You know what? I can't... You know what? I'm sure this will change as I'm going through the Metal Gear Marathon, but the one that always did leave an impact for me for, like, funny, for humorous reasons, was actually...
Garbage Chief,
like,
Donald Anderson.
Oh, man. Such an Academy Award-winning performance. Him on the ground right there, decomposing. But, no, the Cyber Wolf from Metal Gear Rising.
Uh-huh.
A Blade Wolf, I think that's his name. I love that he has, like, his neural network is that similar to that of a human, but he's still a robot, you know, at the end of the day. So it's like him trying to comprehend emotion and logic while coming off as so stoic, and it's funny. Mm-hmm. But again, that's just off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure I can give a more concrete answer after the Metal Gear Marathon ends. Available now, so call me Johnny. Anyway.
Have a Holly Jolly TJ asks, why did you cancel the Sonic hacking contest this year?
Hey, fuck you, TJ. Shout out to that, man. That guy's a great guy. Anyway, Hal Kepler asks, will Then and Now's ever come back? Unlikely at this point.
Oh?
Then and Now's, it's a video series.
Yeah.
So call me Johnny series. If I'm ever going to revisit a game now, it'd most likely be via live stream.
Or Arkham Knight when it comes out the patch.
Yeah, when Arkham Knight on the PC is still as broken as it was before.
Unfucking believable.
Unfucking believable.
Nicholas Sen asks, who do you think should be combatants in the Combat 2 Pack 2 for Mortal Kombat 10? Rain. Totally unbiased there, but Rain.
Well, you like Rain. There's nothing to be... You know.
Rain, Baraka, Sindel, whoever the fuck they didn't get.
Yeah, all the classic characters. That classic spelled with a K, by the way.
Let's see.
Let me see. John Raymond Vasquez. Something about... Wait. Oh, Undertale. Yeah, eventually.
SGB FF6, you think video games are good or bad?
Good.
Wesley asks, what should the next Final Fantasy consist of? Not the 7 remake. 15.
I like what 15's doing.
Yeah.
If the demo's anything to go by, I like what 15's doing. So, as long as the rest of the game is of a quality of that caliber, then I think I'm in for a good time. So, Spalding Cummings asks, what are your favorite Sega games, excluding ones that are made by Sonic Team? So he's talking about Yakuza, Jet Set Radio, Shenmue, Hang On, Afterburner, and all that.
Power Stone.
You know what? I can't really answer that because I have yet to really experience any of those that you've listed. Maybe I played a bit of Afterburner when I was younger.
I will say Toe Jam and Earl was good.
Yeah.
Or at least the first game. I played Jet Set Radio. And the Power Stone series. That's about it I can think of.
Yeah, I would just have to sit down and like really get to play. Then, granted, I one of my things that I always wanted to do was a Sega marathon. Spend time on franchises that are not Sonic related, because you know Sega at one point or another did have about as many IPs as Nintendo did. Back in the early 90s at the very least, and I'd like to go back and see if they've aged particularly well. You know?
Melancholy of Ryuko asks, when did you get the idea, or what gave you the idea for SGB? Let's Plays?
It was Brain Scratch, actually. Because SGB was a thing already at that point. That's what it's what I originally called myself on Some Call Me Johnny, along with Elliot.
Right.
And, you know, we did our thing for a little bit, and then after a while, you know, he grew up, and our scheduling conflicts became even more egregious, and, you know, we decided to disband that for the time being, and that Some Call Me Johnny strictly just became my stuff. But then after I joined Brain Scratch, and we made that a thing, and I think about a year after, I was like, you know what, I can totally do this with Elliot. And we did. That we got our start in 2009, I want to say. And for a while, me and Elliot played some games by ourselves, and then after a bit, you know, it was New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah,
where
I joined in.
Yeah, we get Mark and Matt, and it was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure Matt be down for this. So I asked Matt to join us for Mortal Kombat 9, and the rest is history. Memories from the bottom of my heart.
And then he just jump poses to a shot of Guitardo stopping on Kung again. Silver
Anyway.
to Greg Hogg asks, name a game that most other people dislike but you may either like or love. Maybe Final Fantasy Mystic Quest?
No, that's my uncle, by the way. Hey, uncle. Mystic Quest is so boring.
Yeah.
It's a great soundtrack, but it's so dull. You know, it's baby's first RPG.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And yeah, I mean, it's great if you want to give it to a 5-year-old and maybe learn the basics of RPG, like the bare fundamentals of an RPG. But I think 4 does that and more. So if you're going to start with an RPG, play Final Fantasy 4, not Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. But as a broader way of answering that question, a game that you like that nobody else seems to like, you know? You know, because I can't really think of entire game, but more of concepts within the game.
I'm drawing a blank right
You
now
know,
too, dude.
because I can go back to like Sonic's level design in 06, you know, but if I defend that, people will act as if I'm defending the entire game, which drives me fucking nuts.
I can't think of one.
Yeah, I'm kind of hard pressed to think of something.
Because usually for me, if a game is shit, it goes right into draw bit. It goes right into trash.
No, it goes right into our Let's Play.
That's it. Look forward to Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
I wouldn't do that though.
Huh?
I want to get to that game at some point. Just
Like,
for the
all I gotta do is dig it out and we're in business.
Just for the cutscenes alone. Anyway, Frankie Houseworth asks, did you see Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F? If so, what did you think? It is definitely more of an action-packed movie than Battle of the Gods. However, the ending is total horseshit because Vegeta totally gets gypped.
Okay, what are your favorite Dynasty Warriors characters?
Dion Wei. Dion Wei's Yao Dun and...
Xiaoho.
Who's Xiaoho again?
Xiaoho Dun, the guy you just said.
Oh, the one with the eye patch. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking about. Big boss. Chinese big boss.
Fuck. Who the hell gets you to crack the fuck up? Guojia. Yeah, I know, what a late entry, huh? But
Cal P.
Now it's Sal P, but yes, Cal. Either way, it's the same thing. He's cold as shit, too. But, yeah, Cal P is one of my favorite characters, too.
I like Diao Chan.
Lu Bu's funny as hell.
But Lu Bu doesn't count.
Why not?
Because you talk about Brock Lesnar being the human cheat code.
Yeah. Oh, man. Who else did I like? I like a lot of them, actually. Too many to list. Zhang Hei's funny as hell, too.
What's the last game in the series?
Huh?
What's the latest game in the series? Is it
Dynasty Warriors 8.
Yeah.
Extreme Legends.
Okay.
Which I have to get.
Kyle Sanderson asks, hey Johnny, what version of Final Fantasy VI would you recommend me to play? Never played it before. Original Super Nintendo version.
I know 6 Advance.
Because the Final Fantasy VI Advance does fix some things that made 6 on the SNES broken. But the post-game content, Dragon's Den, Soul Shrine, is not very spectacular, as we talked about it during the early part of the Let's Play. So if you want a better visual fidelity and a better soundtrack, just play it on the Super Nintendo. You can also get the iOS version if you really don't care about how the overworld graphics and shit like that look. Either way, it's still Final Fantasy VI in its foundation. So by all means, hope you have fun.
Proto the Pro Dude asks, John, throughout the lifespan of the SGB Likes to Play channel, what moment in any of the Let's Plays is the most memorable to you? Would it be holy shit the 6-titty chicken?
And for the record, I find that hilarious because it's just how nonchalant Matt said it.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, the 6-titty chicken. It's like as if he's seen plenty of those before. And he's just pointing it out. But, he's asking over, like, recently, favorite SGB playthroughs?
Just ever.
Super Metroid was pretty good.
Yeah. Like, moment-wise, like, I can't think of one offhand.
Yeah, we gotta think about that one.
Joma asks, who in the hell do you think I am? I don't care.
I think that's a Gurren Lagann reference.
This Shaman Pow asks, what was the hardest game to do a playthrough of in terms of commentating over?
Sonic 06.
Huh?
I want to say Sonic 06.
Really?
Like our first 5 attempts doing that live.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also Donkey Kong Country. 9 fucking attempts.
Yeah, yeah, that was 9 different attempts on that one. Zelda 1.
Zelda 1. No, Zelda 1. The first. I was more angry at the third time around when we got it.
Oh, we're good because we're fatigued. We're wiped out.
Yeah, we had to go through it all over again because of some dumb shit.
And you know what? At some point, I want to go back to it again because the audio is shit.
The audio is shit, but I don't want to do it again.
No, we'll do it like 5 years from now.
Yeah, SG anniversary.
Yeah, SGB returns again. Zelda 1. Kevin Kyle asks, Vati the Wind Mage asks, why did you have to kill me in Four Swords Adventure? Because you were in the way.
Right. Joma asks a more serious question. What game do you think really needs a sequel? Like, never got a sequel, but had potential. Plumbers don't wear tie.
Now they wear pants. I know this is going to sound confusing. Brave Fencer Musashi. You say, John, they already had a sequel. Samurai Legend Musashi.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, but that's the sequel I want.
No, it didn't.
I want a definitive sequel to Brave Fencer Musashi, because that's still one of my perennial PS1 favorites.
Derposaurus Rex asks, what would you say is your favorite dinosaur-themed game, level, or character? Dinosaur-themed level...
Yo! No, I'm kidding.
Dinosaur-themed level would be, Would the Opera House count?
World of Ruin, yeah.
Yeah.
The Triceratops chasing levels in Crash 3.
Oh yeah, those levels. I forgot about them.
The part where you fight a T-Rex in Tomb Raider.
Oh my God, yeah, those, I forgot all about those. Teddy Gamer 64 asks, have you ever considered opening a Patreon for any of your channels, whether it be your main channel, BSC, or SGB?
No.
Nah.
Maybe like 10, 15 years when I feel I can deliver that content worth what you guys invest. But right now, I'm pretty comfortable. So, you know, not to say I'm not judging anybody that makes a Patreon, because hey, there are people out there who can fulfill those promises they promise when people invest into their work, and that's great. But to me, it's a lack of confidence in my abilities, and I'm just going to stick with what I know for the time being. So, support my Patreon. No, I'm kidding.
Alright,
Matthew Wilson asks, I noticed a while back on one of your reviews that Ni no Kuni was on your shelf. Did you ever get around to playing it? If so, what are your thoughts on the game? I've only played about 3 to 4 hours of Ni no Kuni. I originally got it because Hayao Miyazaki, and that was great and all. And I liked what I played, but it was unfortunately during that period where I was between games. And normally when I'm between games, I'm playing something I've already played millions of times before, just to kill the time. Not when I'm playing a new game, especially not an RPG. So next time, hopefully, I can play it while I have maybe 2 weeks of nothing to do.
alright, we already answered best Final Fantasy game to a newcomer. Already answered that one. Have you ever considered letting Mark play a game for SGB?
Who's asking that?
Nintendo.
Ever considered Mark playing a game for SGB? That depends on what he's doing, to be honest. I'd like him to, but what game is an entirely different thing. It would have to be something he loves to death, and so far the only thing I could think of for that is Resident Evil 4. He loves that game. I definitely want Mark to be a part of that Let's Play, though.
What's your most memorable WWE moment?
Who asked that? Who asked that?
I keep forgetting to... I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about that. Carolina Montez.
Oh, Carolina Twix Mix?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks again for the poster, by the way.
The famous memorable WWE moment is admittedly one that was kind of hair-raising, which is the Undertaker versus Mick Foley Hell in a Cell match.
Oh, yeah.
Because after he choke-slammed Mick on top of the cage, he fell through the cage, went down there, and according to interviews, he pretty much had an out-of-body experience like, holy shit, I killed a man, I'm going to jail, oh my god.
if there's one thing that'll shake the Undertaker to the core, it's fucking the feds.
Oh yeah, he's a dead man, but he don't want to be a dead
man, but he's a legal dead man.
Right.
You know, favorite moment. It actually also involves Mankind as well. Well, it's not my favorite moment, but it is one favorite moment of mine. Is when Mankind, I think, won the WWF Championship for the first time. It was during a Monday Night Raw. That rarely happens when they.
That was after the finger poke of doom at WCW.
Yeah, that was like that'll put butts on the seat. And
put mine in the seat.
Yeah, well, it put mine in the YouTube page because I wasn't there to watch it live. But you know, Mankind won the championship for the first time, and I think DX was by his side. It was pretty much DX versus the corporation, and then like Stone Cold Steve Austin at the last second comes out and helps, and that pop that he gets when his music hits, you'll never see a pop like that in your life ever again, no matter what the WWF or WWE does nowadays. It was just, that was the time to watch wrestling, and I was so glad to be a part of that during the Attitude Era. That's a great moment for me. Anyway, Pedro Serrano asks, relative to Frankie Serrano, perhaps?
Hopefully not.
Anyway, can we expect Mark to make any future appearances? This kind of goes into what that other guy asked. That depends on what Marky wants to do. Right now, Marky's recovering from ankle surgery, so he's not doing anything, but at the same time, it hurts for him to move. So, we'll have to see.
Franklin Saladini asks, what exactly drew you into the Amiibo craze? I still don't have an Amiibo picture.
They're miniature figures of my favorite Nintendo franchises, what's pretty much more to ask. You know, and there are some, like, you know, a lot of Nintendo franchises never had, like, you know, figure lines or toy lines without, like, unofficial, like, unlicensed people doing that work for them. Amiibos is pretty much an excuse to, you know, have, like, a Mega Man figure or maybe an Earthbound figure, like Ness and shit. And honestly, I just like to support it because, you know, if I can get, like, a Metroid figure or something like that, why not?
Jackson Bell asks you, what was the most mediocre game you reviewed on your main channel?
The most mediocre game I ever reviewed on my channel. Oh boy. You know, well, mediocre, I guess boring games then.
Yeah.
I would say Shadow the Hedgehog. It's pretty boring. And you know, Brendan, I think his name is Britton, the one that donated Corey in the House. That was mediocre as you can get, but I was still able to make something out of that. But that, you know, the game itself was, it's fucking boring as shit.
No Greg November, sorry Uncle Greg. Do you see Sonic Boom 2 for consoles ever happening? Yeah, it'll make my Wii U explode.
I don't see Sonic Boom ever getting a sequel on a console, because Shadow Crystal was the better received game of the two, and by better received I mean it got a 90. I mean it got a 51 as opposed to 50.
Yeah, right.
So it'll probably be relegated to 3DS from this point forward. If it gets a console sequel, I'll be fucking shocked as all hell. But I think from this point on, it's mainstream Sonic games from now on consoles.
Chronopat Tasma asks, do you fuck young boys, Valdez?
No.
No.
Rami Lorito asks, where would the best place be to look for old games and systems besides the internet? Mom and pop stores, I would say. You know, those local businesses owned by people that live in the same place. And luckily for us, there's a place down in Cambria that they don't know what they have. And it's really rare nowadays that you find people that sell rare games for dirt cheap prices. Like, I got my Majora's Mask from them for $5, as well as the original Final Fantasy 1. Elliot bought Black Label Final Fantasy Tactics for $5.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't know what they have. You know, nowadays, like, not to call any names, but they don't put prices on their games. What they do is that as soon as you pick the game you want to buy, they look up the price on eBay and Amazon and do a price comparison. It's like, oh, this one's selling it for $86, so I'm going to charge you $86. Like, fuck off, man. Yeah, that's not fair. I might as well just go to the fucking eBay store and buy it there.
Robert Skritzbiek asks, what game will you never ever play for SGB or BSC? No, it's really off the table as far as I know.
Yeah, you know, because You know, if I flat out refuse to play a game, then I could be disappointing someone out there that was looking forward to me playing that game.
Or because somebody really wants to get off on you pounding hot iron nails into your testicles.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're not gonna play Barbie. Fuck.
Yeah, right.
Unsubscribe. I'll say nothing's out of the, everything's up in the air, but whether or not we want to do that is an entirely different story. But you know, it's a case-by-case basis. So Cedric Lamont Jameson asks, "Will you play Q&A?" Fuck off, okay? You smart ass. Well, we are playing Q&A right now.
DC Dungeon Master asks, a lightning round of sorts. Best Arkham game, Final Fantasy game, M&L game, oh, Mario Luigi. Bioshock 1 vs. Infinite, favorite playthrough. Let's see, in my order, Best Arkham game, Asylum, Final Fantasy game, 9. Though 12 is coming very fucking close lately. Mario and Luigi game, World, Bioshock 1 vs. Infinite. I haven't played Infinite yet, but I still like 1.
World.
Yeah, favorite SGB PSC playthrough. SGB is SGB's got one too many to list. BSC, honestly, I'm loving the Cards Against Humanity round, but and I'm loving the BSC's 9 playthrough.
All right, run me through the questions.
Best Arkham game.
Asylum and City tied.
Final Fantasy.
6 and 9.
Mario and Luigi.
Superstar Saga.
Bioshock 1 vs. Infinite.
Infinite.
Favorite SGB playthrough.
Can't pick one.
BSC.
Can't pick one.
Next. Let's see.
Oh, I got one. Juventino or Juventio Hernandez Montalvo. What type of Metroid game would you want Nintendo to create? A good one. What type of weapons, visors, environment story? What would you like to see in a future Metroid game?
New
Dude,
ideas. Just
give me a fucking extension of Super Metroid or Zero Mission or Fusion and I'm golden. Which I don't think is that hard to do. I'm not a game developer. I don't know all the little details that go into creating a game. But that doesn't sound very fucking hard to do. You know, Nintendo can go on and on and on with Mario because of how successful he is. You can do that with your other IPs as well. There's a reason why people keep going back to Super Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission, because they work.
Right. Let's see, DC Dungeon Master also asks, thoughts on Konami? Fuck 'em. Do you follow Jim Sterling and fuck Konami? Yes. Favorite Persona game? Persona 2 or Innocent Sin or Eternal Punishment? Eternal Punishment.
I've got no opinion on Konami besides the one everyone else has.
Yeah.
I follow Jim Sterling too. Though I keep up more with his social media, like antics than like the Jim Kozissin.
Yeah, because he's funny.
Well, that's actually on like a topic by topic basis. Like, am I interested in what he's covering today, like as opposed to what he covered last week or the next week after that? But yeah, I do follow him. Anyway, Sean Adair asks, how much did you like MGS5? I got to wait for my son call me Johnny review. I'm sorry to cop out, but that's what I'm doing. Arthur Roman asks, if there was a policy that you could change that Nintendo uses nowadays, which one would it be and why? I guess Let's Play policy. If there was a policy that you could change that Nintendo uses nowadays, which would it be and why?
Let's Play policy.
Yeah, I would say.
And their contraband and treating Metroid like it's taboo.
I would say the Let's Play policy, because there are a lot of other publishers and developers that are completely okay with the idea of Let's Plays because they view it as free advertisement.
Right, and not only that, but the thing is, though, is that you give Nintendo the inch to do that, there are going to be a lot of other developers changing their tunes mighty quickly.
Yeah. So that's about it. That's the one that comes to mind immediately, and that's also because, you know, it's in our line of work. But that's the one I would probably change first off beforehand.
Some call me John. Matthew LeBlanc asks, will you ever do a Disney-themed month one day on Johnny Versus?
Disney-themed. Like a Disney-thon. I'd like to. But if I can, like, muster up the courage to actually play through some of those old-school Disney games. Have you like, I know you mentioned some of the Disney games you played.
Yeah, I could do Toy Story and Aladdin.
Yeah, well, Toy Story doesn't count. That's not really hard. I'm talking about, like Aladdin's up there, Lion King. Fucking Lion King, man. The Mickey Mouse games. Like Mickey Mania. They're on, like, a different, like, kids. Like, these are kids' games! Like, fucking hell! That'd be interesting to go back to. But I also like to play Toy Story 2 again. I legitimately enjoyed that one as a 3D platformer. Diego Rodriguez asks, Was there a game you really wanted to Let's Play but couldn't find or couldn't import it? For the longest time, it was actually Symphony of the Night on the Saturn. Because I didn't have a means of getting it, and I didn't have a means of playing it. And then, when the money was right, I finally did the research to get the Action Replay, which allows me to play imports on an American console. And then I found the Japanese Symphony of the Night at Too Many Games a few years back, and that was the version I played years and years ago when SGB first started, which I plan on wanting redoing at some point. But nowadays, no, there's no game that I can't get without saving for it. And it's just a matter of how much patience do I have to really want to play the game. You have anything like that?
Like what?
I guess in your case, wouldn't it be a PSP version of Eternal Punishment?
Yes, which I have and I had to put down.
Yeah.
Because of work.
Oh, was it sick? No.
Yeah, I was sick of Atlas. How
so you put it down. I was like, what is it, a fucking dog?
Well, I had to put it down. I had to stop playing it.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. How far did you get, despite the fact that it was Japanese?
Honestly, it was everything I could ask for. A hard mode that's actually fucking hard. A script that, a little bit of a fine-tuned script I would have loved. Everything that goes into a great game I would totally love. Unfortunately, it's stuck in fucking Japanese and I can't read Japanese.
I'm sorry about that. It really depends on the game, because I got 6 in Japanese and I was able to play from beginning to end. No problem, but then again, 6 ain't Persona 2.
Right.
So
that game relies on its script to keep me entertained as well. And
oh yeah. If you can't read it, then you're losing half of the game.
Right.
So Kendall Anderson asks, what are your thoughts on Grand Theft Auto 5, and will you review the GTA series at some point? Eventually on that last part. I never played Grand Theft Auto 5 though, but
I haven't played it either, but that's something I'm going to get for my PS4 in due time.
Yeah. Kyle S. Taylor asks, which game did you ever want to redo on SGB? A few of them, actually. More around the era where it was just me and Elliot, you know?
He does want to redo Crash 3 at one point.
Elliot wants to redo Crash 3 at one point. I want to redo Symphony of the Night, which which we'll do after I do Rondo of Blood. And I want to go back and redo the classic Sonic games, now that Matt's here. So we can get different perspectives, and maybe he can share some insight on something. I mean, because
then it turns out Matt just agreed with me on everything. There was a fucking point.
Matt just says, "Yep," and scene. But I'd like to go back and
save. Where's my paycheck?
I want to. Yeah, you get it when you leave. But I like to redo the classic Sonic series, Sonics 1 through 4, Episode 1, because Episode 2 came out pretty good with me and Elliot. And I guess anything else I'd like to redo? No, I think that's about it. What about you, Matt? Any regrets?
Fuck.
No, I think you play your games relatively well.
Right, but that doesn't mean there would be something I could do over again. Honestly, Conquer.
Conquer?
I think we could have done a little more, but...
Nah, you're just letting that one part egg you on.
The eel molestation?
Yeah,
Nah, it ain't the eel molestation. It's like... You ever feel like we could have been funnier?
No, it's not a matter of being funnier. It's just a matter of you pissing off a few people and you let that get to you.
No, once again, you're reading more into it than it really is. It's not what it is.
No.
Like I said, I'm not worried about the eel molestation joke. I'm more worried. I just thought we could have been funnier.
Matt, that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a completely different thing.
Wait,
but I'll talk to you more about that off screen.
Yeah, hold on. I was talking about the eel joke.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something else. Oh, but on that note, actually, we'll have time to talk about it later on because that's the end of the second Soul Shrine part, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll join you next time for the finale of the Final Fantasy VI Let's Play and the end of the Shrine.